I had to have somebody, if I were going to work there on a day-to-day basis, that I could work with on a day-to-day basis. Jimmy didn't know anything about the NFL. He'd coached in college. I didn't know anything about the NFL. We didn't bring anybody in with us that knew anything about it, but I felt like we could work together and get the job done. We've got a great relationship. It works. The record speaks for itself there, and we are friends, but not confidants.
So who is the man behind the World Championship Dallas Cowboys? Jerry Jones or Jimmy Johnson?
Well, I'd give Jimmy all the credit in the world and all that is due. When you have success, I think you do get a lot of credit, more than you deserve. I think when you aren't successful, we went 1-15, you get more of the blame you deserve. It is always somewhere in between. One time I went hunting at a very successful man's cabin, and he had on his nightstand, and I looked over at it, and it said, if you're willing to give others the credit, you can conquer the world. Credit can be a very human frailty and the need for it, although it can work to your benefit. Jimmy needs a lot of credit. I need a lot of credit. There's enough to go around.
So you're telling me you're the man?
Well, basically, you heard what I said. Jimmy's a great coach. I think the best coach in the country. We work together. We make decisions together. It's worked well.
Now, what about Jimmy? Jimmy is a strong man. He wants to be in charge. And the fact of the matter is, Jerry, he can control everything and everybody except you. Is that hard for him to deal with?
Well, I don't think so. I think that it's necessary. One of the things, having played ball, having worked and played under a lot of coaches, you got to realize that in sports, the coach needs to be the man. He needs to think he's the man. The player needs to think he's the man. The facts are, everybody understands in the world who hired Jimmy. Everybody really understands when you own something where that goes. You see, I'm the owner of the team, but I don't look at it that way. I really think you can't own Notre Dame. I think the fans own the Cowboys. A lot of people don't understand that I'm also the president and the general manager. In that sense, we work together. When we make decisions, and there hadn't been one made at the Dallas Cowboys, but what we don't make it together.
Now, you're the owner, the president, and the general manager. Obviously, somebody who's very confident in his abilities. Do you think, Jerry, that you could coach in that league?
Well, let's say this. I think that any of us can really do what we want to do. Certainly, technically, there are exceptions to that. How do you go operate on hearts if you hadn't had 20 years of training and experience? Coaching takes experience. The Dallas Cowboys deserve to have the greatest coaching in the world. I think they've got that. I think if something happened to Jimmy, we could get it again. The Cowboys are something special. I don't think that I'm the best coach in the world. I'm going to answer your question. Could I go coach the Cowboys? You bet.
Could you? All right, maybe you wouldn't select yourself. Could you take that long walk down the steps if Jimmy were to take off, everything being equal with the salary cap coming in next year, coach that football team to a Super Bowl championship?
Basically, I don't have to. We've got them, would have them standing in line. Would have them standing in line. Certainly. Let me tell you something. Anybody that'd step up, spend $140 million, everything that I'd ever worked for, and think that they could run an NFL team, think that they could take a team that was not down and out but on its knee, think that you could go into the NFL and be successful, has to believe that. That's confidence. I express myself in that way sometimes, but we have that kind of confidence. I believe that whatever it takes to win is what we're going to do to go back to the Super Bowl.
All right, we are cruising. We're coming to you live from Atlanta. The owner of the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones. When we come back, we're taking your telephone calls.